Good morning and welcome to the 2026 AAAS annual meeting SciMike stage, supported by the George Washington University. It's being presented here in Phoenix as well as streaming online. And just a quick programming note, if anyone is playing the AAAS bingo game, I know I am. The QR code for the SciMike stage is to my left, your right over here. I said the wrong side last night, but that is where it is. So be sure to check that out if you are playing that game in the AAAS meeting app. I am your host, Jessica Hubbard, and so let's jump right into our next interview with Rod Wallace, president of the Foundation for Innovation in Healthy Food. Thank you for joining me today on the SciMike stage.
Hey, great to talk with you, Jennifer.
So I wanted to start off with having you tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm the president of the Foundation for Innovation in Healthy Food, and our goal is to transform food by prioritizing the role of nutrition and health.
And you'll be talking a little bit about that in your session, correct?
We will be talking about that in the session, yes, exactly.
Is that later today, or is that?
We are going to be talking this afternoon, 4:30 to 5:30, and we'll be talking about the economics of agriculture and the plant breeding and how exactly we go about enhancing the healthfulness of the foods that people already enjoy.
So tell me a little bit about what excites you about doing this work. I feel like healthy foods is exciting in general, but tell me like your perspective on it.
I'm really excited about the fact that, you know, a lot of times when we think about nutrition, we think about what can we eat that's healthier, that we should eat more fruits and vegetables, and we should. We should eat more legumes. They're really, really good for us. But a lot of things that we can do are about enhancing the healthfulness that people already enjoy. And by seeing that we can make things that taste just as yummy as they do right now, that essentially taste the same, but have more nutrient density.
When did you first realize that you wanted to pursue your line of work?
Well, you know, I was the type of person that you knew. You know, I was the manager in the food company that said, no, we can't do that because we got to make a profit. Mm-hmm. But then my sister called and said my mom had the massive stroke, that she, you know, was walking across her garden and bent down to smell a rose, and she had the stroke. And
sorry to hear that.
It was now a question of what can I do and how can we shift things so that we're able to make a difference, so that the people like me who was managing other individuals and making these decisions would find it profitable to make things more nutritious.
What would you say, let me back up a little bit. We have a lot of students attending this conference. What would you say as your advice to them for getting into a similar line of work?
That the number one thing is to start with the questions. We know that we have a food system that doesn't deliver healthy foods for the most part. And asking the question, well, why is that? And being able to answer and map out, why is our system acting the way that it does? You know, in education, the Americans have incredible educational system we have here. But we've doubled the amount that we're spending on education, and the outcomes for kids isn't any better. We have this food system, 20,000 foods is, you know, in an average supermarket. Amazing.
20,000? I did not know that.
Yeah, but they don't nourish us. So, in the healthcare system, we spend more on healthcare than any other country. And yet we have the lowest, shortest lifespan in the developed world. And asking the question at a systemic industry level, why is that? Why does this part of the system lead to that part of the system, lead to that part of the system, and what's not working? And there's a lot of things that we can do with that.
I want to ask about your field specifically. I feel like it's been changing a lot probably recently, right? What do you see kind of in the next 3 to 5 years? Are there any integrations of different fields that may be happening that are accelerating it or anything like that?
Now is a really exciting time to think about nutrition and health, because there are pressures from new insights from science, there's new insights from economics, there's new insights from political pressures. Community people around the United States and globally recognize the importance of nutrition for health. and that we realize that we've got to eat more healthfully. And so, yes, I do expect that there's a lot more effort on finding ways to enhance the healthfulness of the foods that we already have. For example, we can take the wheat that is 20% of the global food supply.
Oh, wow.
It's 20% of the diet, and we can increase the nutrients in that by increasing dietary fiber. There's a lot of examples in terms of corn and potatoes and other things that we can actually enhance the nutrition that we're and use it the way that we already do in terms of our cooking and eating.
Right. And talking about, you had mentioned being a manager, correct? Mm-hmm. And so during your career trajectory, was there any advice that you received that has stayed with you in your work?
You know, there's a lot of things. I think that what stayed with me most is that most people tend to give you advice about how to work within the current system.
Right.
You know, that we're going to keep things really low cost, and that's how we're going to make money. And we're going to find these niche opportunities to deliver healthier food, for example. When there really are opportunities, there are billions of dollars to be made as a society, reduced healthcare costs, and the money is there. So you have to think a little bit more broadly, but there are economic opportunities to really take these billions of dollars and apply that to delivering healthier food. But you need to be able to be willing to take a step back and look bigger picture, why things are, where do you get the money from here to deliver it to there.
Right, and I feel like sometimes in fields of study, we can be so laser focused on a certain aspect or a topic, and so it's good to be able to, when you're able to branch out and see, again, like you said, the bigger picture.
In science, we love to analyze things and to get really, really deep, and
which is important too, yeah.
It's very important.
Yes.
But the synthesis of taking the step back and going, okay, I know that, you know, the Arabinous Island, you know, long chain, medium chain, short chain, it has these impacts, but why is it that wheat growers are not delivering increased fiber wheat today in terms of Arabinous Island? Why is that not happening? And taking a bigger step back at looking at more things at once, and there's a lot of insights from that also.
And I think that grants opportunity for interdisciplinary work, right? And that's on theme with Science at Scale here at this annual meeting. So, I think your work fits in quite well with that, right?
It does. Yeah. We love the theme of this conference.
Theme, yeah.
Thumbs up on that one.
Not to pivot too much, but as we're nearing the end of the interview, and I've been asking most of the attendees about, what they've been reading right now or any other kind of hobbies, because I know science is a big part of our lives and very important, but there's also other parts of our lives that are important as well, right?
It very much is. And I'm reading a lot, truthfully, about parenting, because the reason why I'm doing the work that I am is about my kids. It's about how do we take all of this wonderful technology and the science that we have and making it work better so that when our kids get here, they really have a better society to live in.
And that is an incredible motivator, right?
It's an incredible motivator, you bet.
Is there any final thoughts that you would like to leave with listeners here at the SciMike stage or people listening in online?
It's that we can do a lot more with what we already have.
Ooh.
The science that we know, the technology for enhancing wheat breeding is mommy wheat plus daddy wheat with high fiber leads to baby wheat with high fiber. This is things that we've understood for thousands of years. It's what you studied in 7th grade. And if we think about the problems that really exist in society, a lot of them can be solved with existing technologies. It's by finding how do we make a system that wants to. And there's billions of dollars at stake, so we can make it happen.
That's an incredible line to end the interview on. I really appreciate you joining me on the SciMike stage here today. Thank you so much.
Great to speak with you, Jessica. Thanks a lot.